Let's be honest, your Python code is probably only using a tiny fraction of your computer's power. For over 30 years, a single notorious lock has held the world's most popular language back from two parallel performance. You have definitely felt it. That multi-threaded script that doesn't actually speed up, or that heavy data task that leaves most of your CPU cores completely idle. For decades, this was just a deal you made when you chose to code in Python. But that's all starting to change. A new experimental version of Python has unlocked some pretty staggering performance boosts. This isn't just a minor update, it's a radical rethink of how Python works under the hood. Today, we are looking at the no-GIL experiment, a make or break moment that could redefine Python's future and put it in the ring with faster rivals like Go and Rust. To get why this is such a big deal, we have to talk about the villain of our story, the GIL, or Global Interpreter Lock. Since the beginning, the standard version of Python, CPython, has used the GIL as a safety blanket. Think of it as a single key that protects all of Python's memory. Only the thread holding that key is allowed to run Python code. Any other threads? They have to stand in a line and wait their turn. Why would anyone think this was a good idea? Back in the early days, it made memory management a lot simpler. The biggest headache in a multi-threaded app is a race condition. That is when multiple threads try to mess with the same piece of memory at once, causing chaos and corrupting data. The GIL was a simple, if brutal solution. If only one thread can run at a time, those race conditions in the interpreter just can't happen. It also made using C libraries, which often weren't thread safe, much easier. Now, for IO-bound tasks like waiting on a network request or reading a file from a disk, the GIL isn't a huge problem. Python threads are smart enough to hand off the GIL while they are waiting, letting some other threads get some work done. But for CPU-bound tasks, the heavy lifting you see in scientific computing, data analysis, and machine learning, the GIL is a performance killer. If you write a multi-threaded program to chew through a big dataset, you would expect it to light up all your CPU cores. But because of the GIL, those threads just queue up to run on a single core, one by one. All that switching between threads can even make the multi-threaded version slower. For years, the workaround has been multiprocessing, which dodges the GIL by running each task in a totally separate process with its own Python interpreter. It works, but it's clumsy and expensive. Talking between processes is slow, and each new process eats up a significant amount of memory. It's a clunky fix for a problem that other languages like Go and Rust solved ages ago. This whole situation has been a massive headache, often forcing developers to switch languages for anything that needed real speed. After years of chipping away at the problem, the Python core developers are trying their most radical solution yet. Starting with Python 3.13, you can get an experimental build of Python that lets you turn off the GIL entirely. This is called free threaded mode, and it was born from Python Enhancement Proposal PEP 703. It's not the default. You have to either compile Python with a special disable GIL flag or install a pre-built version. When you run this free threaded Python, a lot has changed under the surface. Instead of one giant lock, it uses smarter, more specific locks for things like memory management. The big win is that multiple threads can finally run Python code at the exact same time on different CPU cores. So what does that actually look like? Take a simple CPU-heavy task like calculating a bunch of prime numbers. In standard Python, if you spin up 8 threads on an 8-core machine, you will see one CPU core shoot to 100% while the others just sit there. The threads are running one after another. Now run that exact same script with the no-GIL Python. Suddenly, all your cores light up. The work gets spread out, and the task finishes way faster. For purely computational multi-threaded tasks, benchmarks have shown some incredible gains, with some tests reporting speedups of over 5x and others showing a more modest but still significant 3x boost. This is what real parallelism feels like. And the best part? Existing code that uses threading module can see these benefits without any changes. This has huge implications for data science and AI, where processing massive arrays and running complex calculations are everyday jobs. It finally lets Python use modern multi-core processors the way they were intended, without the multiprocessing workaround. A massive speedup sounds amazing, but this new power comes with some serious trade-offs. The no-GIL mode is still evolving, and the costs are very real. First, single-threaded performance takes a hit. All those new safety mechanisms add overhead. Even with improvements in Python 3.14, single-threaded code can run about 5 to 10% slower. In earlier versions, that slowdown was even worse. This means for the huge number of Python scripts out there that aren't heavily multi-threaded, the no-GIL mode would be actually a downgrade. Second, memory usage can go up. Early benchmarks showed memory consumption sometimes doubling, which could be a deal breaker for apps with tight memory limits. But the biggest hurdle by far is compatibility. The entire Python ecosystem, especially powerful C extensions like NumPy and Pandas, was built assuming the GIL was always there to protect them. Running them in a no-GIL world without being updated can cause crashes and corrupted data. While many popular libraries are working on becoming compatible, it's a massive project. If you try to import an extension that isn't ready, newer versions of Python will just turn the GIL back on automatically to be safe, wiping out any performance gains. This creates a split in the ecosystem, and the core developers are being very careful. The plan, laid out in PEP 703, is a cautious rollout. Phase 1, with Python 3.13, was purely experimental. With Python 3.14, we are in Phase 2, where the free-threaded build is officially supported but still optional. The long-term dream, maybe 5 or more years from now, is for no-GIL to be the default, but only after the performance and compatibility problems are ironed out. This is one of the most exciting moments in Python's history, and the community is buzzing. What do you think? Is the single-threaded performance hit worth the multi-threaded gains for your projects? Have you tried out the free-threaded build? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And if you're enjoying this look into Python's future, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. It really helps the channel out and guarantees you won't miss our next video, where we'll check out the new experimental JIT compiler that also recently landed in Python. So is this going to change everything? Eventually, yes, but not overnight. Making the GIL optional is a huge and necessary step for Python to stay competitive in a world filled with multi-core processors. For specific CPU-heavy fields like AI and big data, the ability to get real multi-threaded speed is a revolution in the making. Those benchmark speedups aren't a myth. They are very real preview of what Python could become. However, we are at the very beginning of a long and tricky road. The slowdown in single-threaded code, the extra memory usage, and the enormous task of updating the entire library ecosystem mean the GIL isn't going anywhere just yet. This is less of a sudden bombshell and more of a slow, carefully managed evolution. For now, Python is performing a delicate balancing act. It's trying to compete with faster, more concurrent languages on their own turf without giving up the simplicity and stability that made it the most popular language in the world. This is Python's high-stakes gamble to shed its biggest limitation and secure its place for the next 30 years. The lock has been picked. The race is on, and Python's future will never be quite the same. Like, share, subscribe, as we'll see you soon in the next one.